Hey, so Fernando Tatis Jr. is returning to the Padres in Major League Baseball on April the 20th, and I think this is maybe one of the most highly anticipated returns that I've maybe ever felt while being a baseball fan. When he returns, it'll be 564 days between his last two Major League games, which is just kind of crazy to think about. It hasn't really felt like that long, but it definitely has been that long. And Tatis has been absolutely crushing it at the AAA level right now. At the time of this recording, he's 17 for 33, 9 of those hits going for extra bases, including a pair of doubles and 7 long balls. He's walked 6 times, he's stolen 2 bags, hasn't been caught. Everything has been going his way while with the El Paso Chihuahuas right now. So it's pretty clear that Tatis has not skipped a step in what is, weirdly enough, the first time he's actually played AAA baseball. And right now, it feels like the Padres kind of need him. Again, at the time of recording, they're 8-9, bringing up third place in the National League West in a division that, let's be frank, they're kind of supposed to win right now.
Without Tatis, it hasn't felt like necessarily a hole, but just everybody, there's not like a sense of urgency so far. There hasn't been a real just edge to them, really. They haven't been San Diego at all. And as a matter of fact, they haven't really been that since 2020, if we're being totally honest. Juan Soto, he's been struggling a lot. A lot of people have been talking about it, hitting under 200 somehow. Manny Machado has also been off to a slow start. And just in general, runners in scoring position has been their big problem. The Padres are kind of have a similar offense to what they had last year, where they, made it to the NLCS and they were awesome. The difference is that now you have Juan Soto for a full year and you have Xander Bogaerts for a full year. So it's been really disappointing from that perspective.
Yes, it's super early. We're only a couple of weeks into the season, but it's pretty clear to me that the Padres need Tatis back in a big way. Tatis is kind of the glue that holds this Padres team together. And it's not just that Tatis is obviously a great player. I think it's all the intangibles that he brings, just the star power that he brings, the energy level, and everything that comes along with that. It's something that the Padres' identity has kind of been coiled around over the last few years. And without Tatis in the lineup, let alone actually physically at the field, it's pretty clear to me that he is the San Diego Padres.
In 2021, while the Padres did have that big collapse, there was a noticeable difference when Tatis was in the lineup. You could feel it in the air. You could see it in some stats as well, that the team just offensively was not there without him. Granted, that's totally different. That was back when, Tommy Pham is on the team, and, it was just a totally different roster. There's no Xander, there's no Soto. So I think that he could absolutely provide that jolt.
The plan for Tatis right now is to play a lot of right field, probably bat third behind Juan Soto in the lineup. But I think maybe the most intriguing part to this whole thing for me is how are fans going to react to Tatis being back on the field? I think that Padre fans are going to welcome him with open arms and completely forgive him and act like none of this ever happened. His last couple of seasons have been marred by ridiculous injuries, and the entire PED suspension and how that all went down was maybe one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. But regardless of how all that went down, I feel like Fernando Tatis Jr. now has this massive target on his back. And he has quickly gone from the literal face of the game to now kind of this problem child. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe just this is too much online chatter, but I feel like fans really just hate him now.
Yeah, this is something that I talked about a little bit on my show, Locked on Padres, that it's one of those things where you're allowed to believe two things to be true. Number one, which is that, look, I think that we shouldn't treat this guy like he's, Satan incarnate. He made a mistake, a big mistake. That's bad. You shouldn't be cheating and doing all that stuff. But you don't have to treat him like the worst out there, especially in our world at large. Forget sports, but our world at large has a lot more people deserving of much more vitriol than Fernando Tatis for, in all intents and purposes, cheating at baseball. You know what I'm saying? Also, if you're like a player, a lot of players are probably going to have an issue with it, whether they speak about it publicly or not. And I don't think that those players are awful for saying that.
I think that monkey's going to be on his back for a long time now. And for a guy that is now marred by some of this controversy, he kind of has to win back the love that he was getting. Of course, he's an eccentric and electric ball player. So no matter what he did, he was going to get hate just naturally. But now when you throw this tinge of this controversy around him, it feels like that could maybe be cranked up to 11. So I'm curious. He will start on the road before returning to Petco Park, because the Padres will be on a road trip. what's that fan response going to be like? And how long is that going to last? I think Tatis Jr. is going to keep getting these boos probably for the rest of his career for one reason or another. But I think it's pretty safe to say that Fernando Tatis Jr. has made maybe the most impact in today's game as any other ball player on the field right now, for better or worse. All I know is this dude can flat out play, and I cannot wait to see him back on the field in those brown pinstripes again. How do you feel about this? Let me know in the comment section and tell me, will you be one of those fans that are booing Fernando Tatis Jr.? I'm very curious to see how this whole saga plays out. Hit thumbs up if you like this, hit thumbs down if you didn't. Either way, it tells me more about what you guys want, and of course, if you like this content and want more of it, hit subscribe. Anyway, I'm Steve Granado. Later.